Hi everybody, I'm Robin. I'm going to get right to it because these men, okay, so, real talk. I'm 63, I live alone with my rescue dog Rosie in a BFE town in Indiana, United States, which is weird because it says, YouTube says 49% of my views are from the U.S. Anyway, I don't have any girlfriends, right? I'm disabled. In fact, you'll hear my microwave go off in about 10 minutes. I have a vocal cord thing and a respiratory thing from swimming in a pool 19 years ago. I'll tell you about that in another video because I'm pissed off about these men. I've been through them all. And I see I need to color my hair again. Thinking about growing out. Put in the comments what you think. I'm thinking about growing my gray out. I've been coloring it since my 20s, so 40 years. Yeah, I know. And I'm shocked that it hasn't fallen out from all the coloring. But, yeah, so let me know what you think about that. See, the roots are starting to show. Also, I'm thinking about cutting it in like a pixie style because first of all, somebody told me, one of these nitwit men told me that my hairstyle isn't for senior citizens. Who the frick is he? He's like 75. Oh my gosh. Don't get me started. These 75-year-olds think, they think that you should be at their beck and call. You know, it's like the 1950s with them still. No, I've been alone, living alone most of the last 19 years. Taking care of myself, have my own house. Well, the bank owns it right now, but my car is paid off. No, it's not a new car. And, okay, let's just get down to it. Because I don't like these YouTubers who just blah, 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 but I'm going to try to stay focused on each video, okay? Okay, so this week, I've been on dating sites for years. That'll be another video, too. But this week, I just nitwit. Oh my gosh. Two of them were 75. Because here's the thing. I know, I'm only 63. My last husband, yeah, more than one. I'll tell you about that later, too. Subscribe. You'll hear all my crap. And you'll think your life isn't so bad. Or maybe you will think mine's great. I don't know. Yeah, so anyway, so I've been dating up in age, my last one was, 13 years older than me, so he'd be what, 76 now? Holy crap. I didn't think that one through, did I? I'd be taking care of a 76-year-old right now. So anyway, two 75-year-olds this week. One, we didn't even get to the first phone call, because I'm very careful about giving my phone number out to these nitwits. And I say nitwits, because that's my experience this week with the nitwits online. And you know what? I'm just going to, real talk, I'm going to tell you what site I've been on, which ones work, which ones don't, which ones are great for locals, which ones are more scammers. I'll tell you the whole, I'm just going to lay it out there. And, y'all are smart enough to figure it out, right? What you want to do, what risks you want to take, where you want to go, where you want to spend your money, yada, yada, yada. And I'll tell you what's important is updated profile pictures, which I have to do. So anyway, there'll be another video. I gotta tell you about these two nitwits this week. 3, actually. Okay, so the one was 75, right? And again, I'll tell you about why I'm going up and down in ages, because there's nobody around. I'm in BFE, Indiana, which, if y'all don't know, it's bum F Egypt. It's like nowhere, cornfields, right? Okay, so the first one... he was really showing his age. I mean, he was cute, and I was going, it was Facebook. I know. Be very, very careful on Facebook. I have a 77-year-old neighbor, and she's, like, insisting I get her on Facebook, and, because I tell her about these men, because she gets depressed. She's been married, and he passed away. And she gets depressed that she's going to be alone the rest of her life, and I don't want her to feel that way. So, when I have these shenanigans going on with these nitwits, and yes, some of it's me, but I'm going to change, make it better. So, anyway, these three were on Facebook. And I'm on other sites, but... Okay. If Facebook is free, if you have a Facebook profile, I'll do a video on that, how to do that, okay? But you have to be very, very, very careful, okay? But, on the other hand, Facebook, if they're on Facebook dating, you can kind of see their profile, or you can maybe do some detective work and find out, type in their name, if they're from a small town. A lot of times it'll pop up and you can see what they're all about on their Facebook page. If they're an idiot, or if they're, lean one way or the other, different from your political crap these days. I'll do a video on that too. So anyway, he's 75. And, the very first message on Facebook, and by the way, I said hello. I'm sorry, but the pickings are slim around here. And I'm not getting younger. So, kiss a frog, whatever. You got to go out with a few. Which, by the way, I have a lot of first dates. I think I've had maybe 3 second dates in the last 19 years. And one guy, yeah, I liked him a lot. We actually ended up living together. And I know, living in sin. I'll tell you about that later. Actually, he was the only man I ever really loved, and who ever really loved me. And he was one I wasn't married to. Go figure. Yeah, I screwed that one up. We had a stupid fight. I don't even remember what it was about. On Father's Day, and I wouldn't go with him to his dad's house, and I never saw him again. We were living together. I loved it. He was a cowboy type. People called him Tim McGraw, and he actually was pretty good looking. This was like 10, 15 years ago. It was nice because, I felt safe when his cowboy boots were by the kitchen counter. He had the sexy black hat. Yeah, but I picked some stupid fight, and that was it. So anyway, back to these 3 nitwits this week. Okay, so I'm sorry, I'll try and stay focused, because I only have so much time that I can talk, and then I run out of air. I'll tell you about that in another video. So he was 75. I texted him and said, hello, good morning. It was Sunday morning. I said, good morning. It's a beautiful Sunday morning. And here's a tip. Keep it short. Very short. Actually, that was too much. And immediately, he messaged me back. And he says, I'm 75. Our age doesn't bother you? I said, no. I said, at our age, like I told you, it's slim pickings. And I said, I just really want a partner for the rest of my life. And I'm very simple. I just want somebody to slow dance with me in the kitchen. I'm not going to cry over the crap. I'm not. I'm not going to get upset about it. I said, okay, so we chatted a couple more times. I said, do you have any kids? Do they live close? Because I always like to know about their family, right? And I had to go out and shovel the sidewalk because I'm a single gal. So I had to go out, and it's like, I don't know, 9 degrees below zero wind chill right now. So anyway, I went out and did that. I just turned off the Facebook because I didn't want, I didn't want it on in my pocket, in my coat, outside. So I turned it off. No big deal. Well, I come back on when I get back in the house, and he's messaged me like 4 times. He's like, did I lose you? Did I lose you? Did I lose you? I'm like, what the hell? What the hell is he talking about? So then I got back on and I said, no, you didn't lose me. I shut this off when I went outside to shovel. Like, I don't, wait for you to answer immediately. I said, we both have lives, and I'm not that kind of gal. I don't sit by the computer or the phone and wait for someone to message me. We're both busy. We don't even know each other. So, and he comes back at me. Obviously he's been scammed. He comes back at me and he says, I don't like, in all caps, by the way. So he knew to do that. He says, I don't like games. And I'm not giving you any money. And why don't you answer me right away? Are you out on a date with someone else? Which right there, no, deal breaker. If somebody says that crap to me, are you on a date with somebody else? Are you on the phone with somebody else or whatever? Within the first 5 minutes, no, F you. I'm sorry. And by the way, I'll try not to actually say the words, but I feel like I've lived, and my doctor would tell you, I've lived 10 lives at 63 years old. So if I want to say the F word once in a while, I'm just going to do it. So if you subscribe, beware. Okay, so I blocked him. And so the second 75-year-old, I know, but he was local, and people that I contacted, I messaged a lot of people on Facebook that I know. I have like 1,200 fake Facebook friends. 1,190 I've never met. So we'll talk about that in another video too. But it's nice, because then on your birthday you get like 200 happy birthdays. I keep them around just for that, to be honest. And my birthday's next month. So, anyway. Okay, I digress. So this guy, he was 75. And he was local. A lot of people I knew him. He was a player. According to a couple of gals. He's a player. He's very handsome. He's very wealthy, which I don't care. Being wealthy. I'll do another video on that. I've been homeless with 3 kids in my 20s. Yeah, I was eating the mustard packets while my kids were eating hot dogs. Made it through. No, it was hard. And so I've been homeless with 3 kids in my 20s, and I have been with a man who is very, very wealthy. Very wealthy. I mean, we had the 6-bedroom house. I lived in it. He had the 6-bedroom house, apartment with his mom. Shoot, we had an Olympic-sized swimming pool with a beautiful fireplace, indoor. And we're in Indiana. And we had a plane out back with a pilot who lived out back by the plane, even though the man I was with had his pilot's license. And I'm afraid of heights, so I never went up in the plane. Ever. I'm never. You're not, no, Unless, here's the scoop. Here's how I would get me up in a little plane, these little 2-seaters. Here's how you could do that. Just FYI, guys. The only way you can get me up in a 2-seater plane is if I have stage 4 cancer, and I know I'm going to die soon, or I'm in a lot of pain from it, whatever, and I can take my first husband with me in the ride. Then I would go up in a 2-seater plane, because I wouldn't care if I died. I probably wouldn't mind it if he went with me. Because I always said, if I ever got a terminal illness, I'm taking him with me. And no, it's just not, an ex-wife talking here. It's someone who, he damn near killed me twice. And I was pregnant at 17 the first time. So, not a nice guy. Okay, I'll tell you about that later. Okay, anyway, back to these nitwits. So then this second 75-year-old, I met him for dinner at a restaurant here in town, because we both live close. And of course I drive separate. I don't let anybody know where I live, even though it's easy to find. You can find anybody, right? Google, come on. And I know a lot of cops. So I met him for dinner, and we started talking. And he's a Mason. I think that's what, is it Mason? It's this men's club thing. I don't know if y'all know. Comment if you know what that is. If you don't, Google it. And ladies, I would never ever date a guy that's in this organization. It's very secretive. It's only men allowed. Absolutely only men allowed. And when they come home from a meeting, they can't tell you what happened. Right? Who the hell would even stay with somebody that's in this kind of club? I don't know if they're planning to overthrow the world. I don't know what they're doing in there. Your mind wanders. So, yeah. Ugh. So I said, well, and I didn't feel safe with them. I know, he's 75. I actually helped the cops put away this pastor once. Ugh. And I went in after he'd gotten out of jail. He had a $60,000 bond, and somebody at the church paid it. I'll tell you about that in a video too. I'll tell you, I've been through it. But anyway, I went in, this pastor I was an informant for, because nobody had the guts to do it or believe that he was doing this with these girls. Anyway, I went to the prosecutor's office. I said, he threatened me. Here's the text. He's threatening me. And he knows who I am. He knows that I, gave all this information to the state police, yada, yada, yada. And I said, listen, I need you to do something. I need you to put him back in jail or whatever. Protective orders, I know they don't work. I went through that baloney. They're just paper. It actually just pisses them off more when they get a protective order against them and come after you worse. And you know what she says to me? She says, I said, I'm afraid he's going to come and hurt me and kill me or whatever because he knows where I live. He was the director of a nonprofit. I said, he knows where I live because I helped homeless folks in my county for years. I'm no saint, trust me. I'm just telling you, this is how I knew this guy. And, she says to me? She says, well, you can outrun him because he's fat and old. He's like 70 years old and like 250 pounds or something. And like 5'4", maybe. And I said, you know what? But I can't outrun a bullet. She's now the judge in the county. So there we go. Another person I pissed off that I should have been nice to. Anyway. Okay. So anyway, the first 75-year-old, we never even got to a phone call. Because he was all thinking I was on a date or playing games or whatever. So I didn't even give him my phone number. I blocked him right away. The second 75-year-old was at dinner. And as soon as he told me he was a Mason, and I said, oh, what do you do there? Which I knew he wasn't going to tell me, but I wanted to see what he said. And he says, oh, no, that's very secretive. We just have brothers. I can't tell you. And I'm like, oh, okay, thank you. And I literally got up and left. I'm that kind of girl. I'm just that kind of girl. Listen, I've been told, by a cop and by a priest that I have a world-class BS meter. And I do. Here's why. Because I've been through the shit. I have a world-class BS meter because I used to say the crap that these folks say to me, trying to get free nights at the hotel or trying to get, whatever. So I know who's genuine. I know, and I dig too. People call me the vet on the homeless folks in town to see if they really need help or whatnot. So, yeah, world-class BS meter. So anyway, the first two, the 75-year-olds this week, no go. The third one, okay, I'm thinking, you know what? I'm going to change my parameters. I'll tell you how to do that in another video. But I'm going to change my parameters in the app. I'm going to put, 55 years old to maybe 70 years old, right? I'm going to try dating down because these old guys, I can't find anybody my own age. I'm going to keep trying, just so you know. But I thought, let's do an experiment. Let me try somebody younger. Hell, maybe he can take care of me when I get sick, my old age. My life? No, that's not going to happen. Okay. So he's 56. He lives in a town 30 miles away, which I know very well, this town. So, and he put on his profile, he put the place where he worked, and it's a small town, and, the picture, I always look at the pictures very closely to see, if he's living, who knows, and it was a nice house. He had a nice truck. The job it's with a good company, the company that I Googled that he said he worked at. And I thought, you know what? Maybe I could move and, but listen, all that stuff, the sex, the moving, the whatever, the money, whatever, don't worry about that now. It's too much. Just find somebody to hold your hand. And then you can deal with that other crap later. Okay. So this last one, 56 years old, very, very good looking. Although he's not out of my league, not very good. He's good looking. I mean, okay. Ladies, why, and men too, I watch these scammer videos. What the hell's going on? Why are you in love with and sending money to someone who is I mean, obviously the pictures are stolen because the person you're talking to is a 10 on a scale of 1 to 10. Actually, they're 11. They're a model. And they're saying they love you and you're their wife and yada, yada, yada within, a day. What's happening there? I'm not desperately lonely, but I'm pretty lonely some days. Some days. Today I'm just pissed off. I'd rather be alone. But I mean, come on. I feel like maybe, I don't know, don't comment on this, but I think maybe I'm maybe a 6. I used to be a 9, back in the day. Yeah, I was skinny, long dark hair. I mean, I was 20. What the frick? I was something back then. But now I think maybe a 6, maybe 6.5 on a good day. Maybe 6.5. So I'm looking for a 6.5 or a 6 or maybe a 7, right? So this guy, I would say this guy was a 7, okay? Just a little bit. He was very good looking. He's very good looking. Anyway, so it was really weird. And he's on Facebook too, Facebook dating. And he said, the first thing I say, he says good morning, and I say good morning, and he says you're beautiful, which right there stops me in my tracks, and I'm working on this. I don't think I'm beautiful, and which is the thing, right, ladies? Like, okay, here's the thing. If somebody knew me back in the day, in high school is when you get married, right? You hook up with somebody, you fall in love or lust or whatever, because your hormones are going crazy, and you have a baby, you get a house, yada, yada, yada. And then when you're 63, that's not the way it happens. You don't go to, you don't go to dances and meet them in high school and go out in the cornfield in the car. Yeah, I told you, I'm in Indiana, at the cornfields. 63, it's hard. That's why I have to go online. And to be honest, being online, I feel a little bit safer. I know it's weird, but I'll tell you about a guy who came to my house. I was out in the garden. I was out in my garden, which I love gardening. And he drives past me. I'm living on the corner. And then he backs up and he pulls into the park across the street. And he walks over to me and we talk for 2 hours. And he knows everything about my family, which, I don't know. Some people, if you know my family, my last name, which it's like Smith in most places. It's not Smith, but it's like, in this area. And he knew everybody in my family, but he said he worked with my uncle, yada, yada. So, okay. And in fact, I texted my aunt to find out if she knew him when he left, and she did. She told me about him. So, and it's weird. Okay, this is about that, and then I'll get back to the last nitwit this week. This guy that stopped by my house, and we chatted for a couple weeks, like on the phone, we talked, and again, I rarely give my phone number out, but I mean, he knew where I lived, so, it's so weird. I mean, the night before he came to my house, I prayed, and I don't go to church. I'm spiritual. I was born and raised Baptist. I skipped school in high school to go to church. That's how, yeah. I'll tell you about that in a video too. So yeah, I had prayed to God. I'm like, listen, Lord, and I sit on the side of my bed a lot and just talk to God like he's sitting right next to me. I'm like, listen, Lord, like, you know me, you know who I am, you made me, you know my sins, you know what I'm going to do. And I said, would you please, I said, Lord, I have this sickness thing, and I'd been sick for a few weeks. In fact, I just had my gallbladder out and 3 hernias repaired at Cleveland Clinic. What a man. I'll tell you about that in video too. It was a misdiagnosis from a local doctor. Not even a misdiagnosis. It was fraud. It was flat out fraud. So I'll tell you about that later too. But so anyway, I prayed. I'd like, Lord, please, you're gonna have to send somebody to my house for me to meet them. And I'm not even looking for a good man right now. I'm just looking for a man. I know I keep saying this, but who will slow dance in the kitchen with me. Who will, if he sees me tearing up, he won't go to the other room. If he sees I've had a fantastic day, he gives me a hug and celebrates with me. Now, the money part, the house part, the sex part, no, I don't have sex right now. I'm sorry. Maybe. I actually did meet somebody a few months ago that I thought, you know what? I could have sex with this guy. Yeah. Okay. So I'll tell you all about that later. Anyway, the third guy this week, 56, he tells me he lives with his dad in his dad's house, and when his dad dies, he just, matter-of-factly, when my dad dies, my brother and I are going to just sell everything and split the money. And I'm like, what? And he tells me he hates his dad. His dad's only 80, what did he say, 88, I think he said. But he's going downhill every day. I mean, he was just so callous about it. And I get it. Maybe there's a lot going on. You don't know what somebody's household's like. And then he says, I've got all the toys. Because they say, you work at, this place. I said, no, I know that. I said, I know that place, which I don't. I just, Googled it. He says, yeah. He says, I've been working there since high school. And he's 56. So, 40 years he's been working there. And he says, I hate it. I want to quit my job so bad. My supervisor's an asshole. Okay. Then he starts asking me questions about my house, where I work. Ding, 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 ladies. Red flag. He's looking for a place to live. Yes. By the end of the conversation, he literally, I don't know how stupid he thinks I am. He literally says, listen, I hate my job. I hate my dad. I hate where I live. And I want to come and live with you. I will take care of you. He says, I have a little money in a 401k, but I have other toys. So evidently he's spending his money on whatever. So blocked him. So that's 3 this week. And I know you're going to say, well, 2 75-year-olds and you're 63 and 1 56-year-old and you're 63. Listen. I've been out with guys. The guy that stopped by my house that day when I was in the Guard, he was 2 months older than me. He was right at my age. So, and he volunteered everywhere. Ooh, that was. I'll tell you about him in a video. Subscribe for that. But do me a favor. I live on Social Security disability. I'm about to run out of voice and air. I'll tell you about that later too. People breathe close to 20,000 times a day, and I have a respiratory issue from the pool thing. Anyway, I'm sorry. It's hard for me to stay focused. I don't have anybody to talk to. I don't have anybody to talk to except my dog. I mean, in the summer, my 2 neighbor ladies come over and we chat. But I only have so much voice. So anyway, that's my experience this week. 2 75-year-olds. It really shouldn't matter about the age. For some reason, it's bugging me. So I'm going to still keep, like, the parameters you put, who you're looking for in these websites, apps, whatever. It's very important. The distance is very important. I mean, and the age is very important. The other thing, this 56-year-old has never been married and has no kids. I don't know. Maybe it shouldn't be a red flag, but that's a red flag to me. How could you get our age and never be married? I can understand if you never had kids, right? But never be married your whole life. I've been married more than once. So I got more than one guy to marry me. And this guy couldn't get one gal to marry him, and he's pretty good looking now. So I'm sure he was very good looking back in the day. So that's a red flag to me. Not that I know y'all are going to comment and say, oh, you shouldn't count them out because they've never been married. Well, I don't count them out. It's just a red flag in the back of my head, you know. Find out why. Because we all have baggage. Every single person has baggage. Don't you worry about that. Every person. If they don't, they haven't lived. Or they've had a perfect life. And I would think maybe one person out of a billion has a perfect life. So that's a red flag. If they say they've never had problems, no, drop them. That means they probably have 7 felonies. No, I know. I'm not giving up. I've been, like I said, dating off and on for 18 years. Lived with a guy for a few. I dated one guy off and on for 4 years. He was a bass player in a punk band. And I'm a country girl. I actually write some country songs. I haven't sold any, not professionally. I went to Nashville and met with somebody who has had, 6 #1 hits with country artists that I know. And I checked him out. But I'm a country girl. And I dated this punk rock bass player. And this was I was like 45, 50 maybe. He was the same age. Sorry. Okay, I'll try and keep these shorter. I just get to talking. I just love talking to y'all. I mean, I'm sorry I ramble. And I'm sorry I'm going to have to go because my voice is acting up. But, honestly, I don't even care if anybody subscribes or listens. I hope you do, because it'd be nice to know somebody out there is maybe thinking about dating or is dating and have the same experience. Comment and let me know. And that's not, just comment, like, subscribe stuff. I genuinely want to know that there are other women out there who are experiencing the same thing I am, who are thinking about getting in the online dating, and maybe something I said, helps them out. Or maybe y'all want to hear about something else. I don't know. Maybe you don't give a crap about my nitwits I dated this week. That's only this week, by the way. This was just a shitty week as far as dating went. A shitty week. But I'm not giving up. Because there was a time, like I said, there was a man I met a few years ago, and he loved me. And I was overweight then. I don't know. I may be 5'2". Well, doctor says I lost 2 inches. And I started crying, and he didn't understand why. These freaking young doctors. Sorry, another video. So yeah, just comment because I'd really like to hear from y'all. Men too. It seemed Sunday I put up, I think, 4 videos on sex. I think I did one with sex jokes, and I did one from a men's point of view, and that's from asking some guys I know over the years. I haven't seen any lately that I don't want to even talk about. And I did do some Googling and did look on some dating sites and asked some of these nitwits what they thought. But then one's about the women's point of view about sex, and one's about the men's point of view about sex, which, by the way, I'll do one with me, my own voice, his face. Would I really? But like I said, a few months ago I met a guy. I thought, God, I could have sex with him. I'd actually like to go home and have sex with him. And I wouldn't care if he felt my roles and never came back again. It'd be nice to, whatever. I'll do a video on it. If y'all want to, I don't know. But I would appreciate it if you'd subscribe, just so I know I'm not talking to myself. Because I'll probably lose a lot of subscribers with this video. Because I'm a little out there. Listen. I like to have fun. I like to laugh. There'll be some videos where I'm tearing up a little. I'm just like you. I'm just like you. Christmas was hard. Christmas was really hard. That's over. It's a new year. I'm going to try my best to find a new guy. I've got to get my new profile put together. And I'm a writer, so I can help you all with the profiles. I've got to get new pictures up there. They're only a year old, but they're horrible. And, you know, I'll give you some tips on the profile. You need to do a full length, because the guys are going to try and figure out how much you weigh and how big your boobs are, yada yada. Oh my God. I had a guy, he liked me on the Facebook, on Facebook dating. And here's what he says, I'm looking for a big titty grandma. What the fuck? What? I messaged him back, but I messaged him, made sure he got the message, and then I blocked the son of a SOB. I said, listen, bucko, I'm a great grandma. Who the hell do you think you're talking to? I said, listen, I may not be able to kill him and kick your ass, because he was just in a town like half hour away. I said, I know where you are. I have friends who are detectives. I didn't. I mean, I do have friends who are detectives, but I didn't check out where this idiot was. I said, but you know what? I work with homeless folks, and I may not be able to kick your ass, but I know I have a lot of people in my phone who will do anything for $50, and one of them has 7 felonies. And I keep saying that because he's a changed guy, but I still, you know, his kids, so I watch out for his kids. And then I made sure I saw that he had gotten the message, and then I blocked his ass. Like, what the hell? A big titty grandma? I'm a great grandma, you dipshit. And he said he was, I think, 65. His picture, if he was 65, I want to drink what he's drinking, because his picture was like 40, and he said it was current. Oh my God. So anyway, but don't give up, because I'm talking to another guy. We'll see if he makes it to a phone call and then a date, and maybe a second. There are a couple that, you know, they seem sweet, and you can tell that because, you know, they ask about me first, and they don't, you know, hey beautiful, hey queen, blah blah, all this bullshit these scammers do. Anyway, subscribe, please comment. Let me know what you want to hear about. Honestly, if you say you don't want to hear about my crap, just don't subscribe to my channel and don't watch it, because I'm just going to keep putting my crap up there. It's kind of nice. Hell, I could just sit here and talk to y'all for hours. I don't know how long this has been, but 38 minutes. Holy shit. I'm sorry. You probably cut it up 30 seconds in anyway. So, all right. Love y'all. I say that because it's nice to have somebody say, love you. I haven't heard that in literally years. So, okay. I hope y'all have a good day. Please comment. Let me know what your experiences have been. Let me know what you think about mine, or let me know what you want to hear about, or like I said, don't tell me if you don't want to hear my crap, because if you don't want to hear my crap, just don't subscribe or watch my channel. It's that simple. It's not that hard. It's not that difficult, people. All right. Have a good day. Talk to you soon. Signing off.